The latest update to Sea of Thieves, Ashen Winds, has brought with it a whole new host of Ashen Lords and an awesome new Ashen Winds Skull for you to get your hands on. So in this video I'm going to break down how you find these Ashen Lords and how to defeat them so you can get your hands on this awesome new reward. And we're doing it right now. Hey squad, Sykes here and welcome back to another Sea of Thieves tutorial video here on InstallationX. I hope you are well, and I just wanted to kindly remind people that if you enjoyed this video then please make sure you leave a like, head over to InstallationX and subscribe and hit that notifications bell for more Sea of Thieves and Xbox content. So first things first, in order to get our hands on this awesome shiny new Ashen Winds Skull, we need to first figure out where we can find an Ashen Lord, and actually that is pretty straightforward because the Ashen Lords are part of the new world events that are going on across the Sea of Thieves. Now what you can do is you can randomly find them emerging up on islands because they are also an emergent boss, but the best way to find them is by looking out for the Ashen Winds Cloud or Ashen Winds Tornado, which is very visible from across the Sea of Thieves. Now the Ashen Winds Cloud or the Ashen Winds Tornado, whichever you prefer, will be centered above the island where the Ashen Lord can be found. It is a crimson fiery cloud slash tornado, and once you've figured out where that tornado or what island that tornado is above, you just simply need to head over there. Now the other thing you need to remember about the Ashen Winds Cloud or Tornado is the fact that it is a world event, so other ships from across the sea can see it and could potentially be emerging on the same island, so make sure you keep your eye out for other player ships that could potentially try to get in there and ruin your fun. Now we get onto the part of how we actually defeat the Ashen Lord. So once you get to the island, hopefully you'll be able to see where the tornado slash cloud is emerging from. And it will be coming from a shrine which the Ashen Lord is encapsulated in, and it's up to you to get near it and activate it for the Ashen Lord to emerge and then for the battle to begin. Now my first piece of advice would be to make sure you don't park your ship too close to the island, because the Ashen Lord can throw flaming rocks that can deal damage to your ship. And also when you get further on into the battle and the roar of the devil starts to emerge and rocks start falling from the sky, very soon you could find yourself in some real bother if your ship takes damage. So make sure you keep a decent amount of distance from your ship and the island so it doesn't get damaged. Now the first thing is, this Ashen Lord is like any other Skeleton Lord, and similar to Grey Marrow as part of the Fort of the Damned, they're tanky. And you are going to need to put plenty of hits to diminish the large amount of health that the Ashen Lord has. There are several abilities you need to watch out for. Some of them are familiar and similar from previous Skeleton Lords, and some of them are new Ashen effects for these Ashen Lords. Now the knockback and lunges effect are still in play, and they can deal some significant damage, especially if you're getting up close and personal with the cutlass or the blunderbuss. So watch out for any telegraph movements from the Ashen Lord and try and get out of the way before they can deal some significant strikes to you. Now if you decide to keep your distance with a pistol or an Eye of Reach, then you need to watch out for the Fire Breath ability, which is pretty much what it says, and Flaming Rocks. Now these can be either thrown very high up in the air and then they will loop down and land on top of you, or they can be thrown flat and they will just come straight towards you and can deal some significant damage and fire damage as well. So you need to keep an eye out for this burning effects as well. Well, there are some new additional abilities on top of that as well. We have the Ash Cloud. Now this isn't too bad, but it will significantly reduce visibility if you get caught close to the Ashen Lord when it sets off. This isn't too bad in terms of picking your shots on the Ashen Lord or any nearby skellies, but it can be really difficult to find barrels if you're looking for food to heal up, or if you're looking for ammo crates to replenish your ammunition for your weapons, so keep an eye on that one. And the other thing to keep in mind is there are skelly minions that will spawn as well, and actually they're spawning in larger numbers than we've seen previously. Some waves can be up to 10 or 12 skellies at a time, but these have been significantly nerfed. They take about 2 cutlass hits to kill, so it won't take you long to get through them, but again keep an eye out because if they start swarming you in numbers, that's when you're going to find yourself in a bit of trouble. Now when you get to the final phase, this final phase is called the Roar of the Devil, or this is where this ability pops up, and it is rather mental and a lot of fun. Simply, the Devil's Roar is transported to you on the island that you are on. When this ability pops off, you'll see it very clearly. The Ashen Lord will reach into the ground and will start kind of leaning backwards with its head pointing to the sky and start breathing fire and other things and whatnot, lots of fire effects. And all you're going to get is you're going to get falling volcanic rocks coming from the cloud above, which are not only going to potentially hit you on the island, but like I said earlier on, if your ship is too close, they could deal significant damage to your ship. You're going to get geysers appear that work exactly the same as they do in the Devil's Roar. They'll throw you up very, very high, and you're going to take a large amount of fall damage, so watch out for that. And the other thing you're going to need to keep an eye out for is boiling water, and this boiling water surrounds the entire island, not just the area from which the Ashen Lord is, so keep an eye out for that. Especially if you've had to go back to your ship either to replenish your ammo, replenish your food, or you've just come back from the Ferry of the Damned if you died. If you shoot yourself out from the ship and you're far enough away and you then fall short, you're going to be in boiling water and you're going to take a lot of damage yet again. Now, up until that point, they're all the abilities that you're going to come across. Whilst all those abilities are popping off, you need to continuously keep dealing damage to the Ashen Lord, and once you deal enough damage, the Ashen Lord will be defeated and you will get some very, very good rewards. Now, obviously, once the Ashen Lord is defeated, you will get your hands on the Ashen Winds Skull, and there are a couple of things to bear in mind with the Ashen Winds Skull. It's awesome, so if you want to use it, you can, and it's really, really cool to use, but remember, if you do, it will be to the detriment of the reputation and gold, and for some of the commendations as well, that you will get by selling the Ashen Winds Skull to the Order of Souls. If you decide not to use it, you will get more gold, more rep, and it specifically says in some of the commendations that you need to sell one that hasn't been used, so make sure you keep an eye out for that as well. If you've already done that and you don't really care about the rep or care about the gold, then you can really go to town with it, and it works as a very, very powerful flamethrower. You can use it against enemy players and enemy ships as well, and you can also use it against skelly ships. There are commendations for using it against skelly ships as well. But I haven't had a chance to do that yet in-game, so I don't know how powerful that is. It will probably work exactly the same as fire bombs and other things work on ships with the fire burning effects. But if you decide to use it against skellies, especially at a fort, boy, boy, oh boy, does this rip through these skellies. It is very, very powerful. So it's up to you. Take the trade whether you want to use it as a weapon, or take the trade of whether you want to sell it in for lots of cash and lots of rep. Now, the other thing you need to bear in mind as well is you will also get some more Ashen loot pop up out of the ground when you defeat the Ashen Lord. Geysers will spawn on death and they will pop up and they will give you either crates, skulls, or chests for you to sell into the other trading companies at any of the outposts. Now, a Sykes top tip for you: if you are trying to get the Ashen Lord to spawn more regularly, then the best thing to do is to cycle through the other world events that will pop up on your server. So once you defeat the Ashen Lord, which is a world event in itself, new world events will appear, such as Skeleton Forts, Skeleton Fleets, or Ghost Ship Fleets like the Burning Blade Fleet and Flameheart's Face. Then once you cycle through all of those, you can then get a new Ashen Lord to emerge and pop up as a new world event. So the best way to get through these as quickly as possible is to just cycle through the world events with your crew or with your alliance if you happen to get into one, and that way you can hopefully get through all the Ashen Lords as quickly as possible if that's what you're looking to do. Well, squad, I hope you found that helpful. Don't forget that I've done plenty of Sea of Thieves tutorial videos here on InstallationX in the past, so if you want to check out anything from any of the past updates, then head over to InstallationX and check out my Sea of Thieves playlist over there. And if you enjoyed the video, please make sure you leave a like, head over to InstallationX and subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications for more Xbox content. Don't forget to let me know your thoughts on the Ashen Winds update in the comment section below. Follow myself and the channel on social media with links in the description, and as always, I'm Sykes, and for more on Sea of Thieves and all things Xbox, stay tuned to InstallationX. Bye guys.